Hello, today we will reviewing a sixth episode of TV series Alien Earth, and sixth episode is when even Angry Joe, very positive so far for this series, acknowledged that the series is going down, but the main issue, the main problem which we can see in sixth episode, not season, is that other species, I have talked about it even earlier in earlier reviews, but this is the most important one because this is the most obvious one, that other species because in these episodes we have maybe two main plots. First is that Weyland-Yutani the corporation Weyland-Yutani is negotiating with Prodigy about recovering the ship Maginot and the specimens. And also we have a chaos in the laboratory because of the one of the hybrids didn't was not enough careful, and one of the specimens trapped him in a compartment. But so there are two main issues or problems of this specific episode, but the general idea is that negotiations with Weyland-Yutani and other specimens and hybrids are more important than the alien himself. He's not called in this. He's not called the alien, but for example, the fly in this episode is called even the fly. So it's not a fly, it's not fly, it's the fly. This concrete, specific organism. Very specific, because they acknowledged tells us that something is very special, concrete, specific, and this is the problem, that Alien Earth is not about alien. It's more about hybrids. For example, in this episode, we see that one of these hybrids is dumb because he put out some kind of tablet which he give food to those specimens, and because he was too strong probably. But later, when he was trapped in this little compartment with this fly, he wasn't able to open the door. So we see that the hybrids are strong enough, agile enough, and with enough endurance only when it fits to the plot. But when it don't fit to the plot, they are not able to open the door, even by force. Okay, because he was trapped. These specimens, these eye specimens in cow body, trapped him in a specific way, and he cannot open the door. And it's impossible because they are so strong that, for example, if Wendy was able to cut in half the alien, or jumped like, I don't know, 200 meters jump, and they are extremely agile and very durable, and he wasn't able to just push the door, open it, because they were damaged in a way. And also other thing which is completely incomparable and even inconsistent to the plot is that the fly, and we only knew from this episode, we discovered this, the fly is probably the most dangerous except alien for the hybrids, because this fly specimen is chewing raw materials by spitting acid on them. So the fly, except alien, is the most dangerous, and they didn't know that. The Kersh, because this is his assistant. The Kersh is with Boy Cavalier negotiating with Weyland-Yutani, and this boy is instructed to feed the specimens, but he wasn't able to he didn't know as even as a young student, or Kersh didn't tell him that the fly is very dangerous for them, and it is not dangerous for casual humans, because the fly didn't eat flesh, human flesh, biological substance, but it eats some kind of raw materials. And you want to tell me that in this specific very dangerous laboratory there is only one assistant to overcome them, to be their overlord? Where are the guards? Where are some kind of laboratory helpers? We have a laboratory with, I don't know, maximum level of threat, very dangerous species, and there are no guards, and also because there are cameras, and Kersh even saw what the eye spider-like creature do to trap his assistant, but he didn't say anything to Boy Cavalier, and we thought that maybe this is his secret plan to, for example, to make this chaos and to overthrow Boy Cavalier, because he, for example, hates Prodigy Corporation. Boy Cavalier is unpleasant to him, but no, this didn't have any meanings at all, because if I am a chief scientist and I see that that the chaos will break soon in the laboratory, so I will put an alarm on the island, completely lock down the facility, and so on. And if I didn't do that, so this is our guessing as we are watching it, that he has some second agenda to do something foul, but it wasn't the case. He was still he was still helping Boy Cavalier in next episode to bring order to this laboratory. So why he didn't react in the moment when he saw that something was wrong, something have gone wrong? And the plot, the main issue of this sixth episode is that Alien Earth is not about alien. It's not about alien specimens. It's about those hybrids. It's about those questions who are not supposed to be asked, tell, and focus. About hybrids, what are they? Are they humans? Are they machines? About those other specimens, what is the fly specimen? And we see that even Boy Cavalier is more fascinated and more focused on this, because this eye-like creature is semi-intelligent, and or maybe even very intelligent, but he probably, this eye is as intelligent as a host which he dwells in, and this is interesting case. Okay, this is really interesting case, that this completely new species, but it is not alien. We guys, when I heard that the Alien Earth will be on Disney, I specifically bought the subscription for Disney. It's rather cheap, so I think everyone should do that, because they have a rather huge offer for this low price. But still, I wanted to watch this TV series because it was about Alien, and specifically about Alien on Earth, and other movies were far away from Earth. They were far away in some strict laboratories or strict separated colonies, alone colonies on a tiny asteroids far out of the space. So I wanted to watch movie about Alien, about his genealogy, his origins, the specimen origins, the specimen history. who are they? Are they? There are many variants of alien and so on. And I'm seeing the movie about androids, cyborgs, synthetics, alien, let's say, er, Earth corporations, its political system, and so on. And I completely didn't see Alien. They are not even they are not even focused on it. If this was if this if this series has a different title, you even didn't acknowledge that Alien is important, that Alien series has many movies right now, and it is maybe, except let's say Marvel universe and Star Wars universe, the most recognized universe or sci-fi universe, and yeah, so even so the title even, if it was completely different title, you see that this movie is not about aliens specifically, and he's not even the most vicious and dangerous and creepy and disgusting creature. I think that this alien, this spider-like eye, or this like bug something, is, or even this fly is even more terrifying than the alien himself, because for example this assistant, he didn't know probably what the fly can do, and the fly even landed on his arm. So if I knew that these specimens are still a threat, I would just immediately kill her, immediately crushed her. And he's looking on this fly, and she is looking at him, and then she spits straight into his face some very dangerous acid, and he completely, not completely, but very, he melts, he's melting down. So stupid, because how so I am an assistant in a dangerous laboratory. I have some knowledge about those species. I have some knowledge about the general chemistry, biology, neurology, and so on. And I'm and I'm looking at the fly like this fly is some kind of a pet for me. It was so dumb, so stupid, and 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 there was also these negotiations with Yutani and Prodigy, and for example, Boy Cavalier sit very specifically on a chair that he showed his feet, but it is not his soul. I think the English word is soul, not even his feet, but his whole legs, but specifically his soul, down part of the feet. And in Eastern culture, specifically in Hindu and Asian culture, it is a very immoral, unethical gest to show your feet, your soul specifically. But but it but he's we see that this boy Cavalier is only Cavalier, but it's not completely Prodigy. He called his corporation Prodigy, but he's completely not prodigal for me. He's rather dumb and stupid, and acts like a stupid teenager, not even casual teenager. And he negotiates with Yutani in a way that you know that the negotiations will fail. He's negotiating like he wants them to fail. And he's not prepared, because Weyland Yutani, as we will see from next episodes, has greater military power to invade the island when the laboratory with this species is. So he's not even smart enough to invent some kind of a trick to give them the species, because here we see that he knows a little bit about law, and he's saying that the quarantine is and it still lasts and so on, but he's not smart enough to rule such a complicated organization, such complicated entity. it's really bizarre how he's behaving in a cavalier way, but he's completely out of his mind what he's doing, because he's fascinating with this species, but like some kind of a loco person, like some kind of a crazy person, but his property, his island when he's on, is being endangered more and more. And Kersh didn't even tell him, and we didn't know why, because we assumed that Kersh, the chief scientist, has some other agenda. But when we see 7th and 8th final episode, it's completely not the case. He's truth to the prodigy and to the boy cavalier to the end. So the problem is that Alien is only somewhere on the 3rd or on the 4th bench. He's completely unimportant. The more important is the fly. More interesting is the fly. More important is the eye spider than the alien himself. I don't know, maybe less important, but still very curious is this plant, something like a plant. But other than that, Alien is completely not very famous, not very interesting, not very terrifying. He just behaves like a savage big dog, and that's all. So and we can even see when I advise you to watch Angry Joe reviews, specifically this 6th episode. We see that even he and his friends are seeing that this franchise is going nowhere. It is going nowhere. Maybe we'll summarize this in the 8th final episode, but from the 6th episode we see that they focused so much on completely different topics which people didn't even thought about. Didn't even, because we have in first Alien and in second, and even in Resurrection we have synthetics, but they were only casually important to the main plot. In some cases they were more important, in some cases they were less important, but this was not the case of the ground idea of Alien as some kind of a terrifying evil which people want to control, and it is completely uncontrollable. And here Alien, in this Alien Earth universe, Alien is not even interesting. It's not even evil in a way, because he's becoming a pet of Wendy. Okay, so enough of my rant. Let me give you your thoughts in the comments about this specific 6th episode. I advise you to watch Angry Joe episode about this 6th installment. Let's just talk about it in the comments, and see you at my other review when we will be reviewing 7th episode of Alien Earth.